Hello, 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 and welcome. Happy Sunday. If in case you're not sure, you are watching Joanne's Healing Within. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified personal trainer, holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, the founder of Holistic Fitness, a mom and a wife. And we are, what are we, less than 10 days away from 2022 ending? Wow. Isn't that amazing on how we literally go through our entire year so quickly? Just like that, before you know it, we'll be in 2023. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to be here with you today. And if in case you missed the last episode, which was on December 4th, you definitely are going to want to go ahead and go back and watch it because today's episode has a lot to do with that episode, if in case you missed it. But go back and watch it later, and you can do that by watching it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and of course, right here or YouTube for that matter. Now, if you are watching with us right now, do me a favor. Share, like, and comment on today's show. Share it out. Let others know that I am here. And I have two of my amazing guests coming in who were here with me 2 weeks ago to share about what took place 2 weeks ago. But before we dive into that, let me give a shout out to all of my partners that do help make this show run week after week after week. We're going to start off with Joe Monkman, who is our shamanic healing practitioner. My tongue today is not working. He's also our wellness advocate. CJ Ives Lopez, who is our publisher and host of the Authors Porch magazine and podcast. Kitty Foss and Amy Martin, who are the hosts of Intuition of the Soul. Then we have Nick Rafter, who's our real estate agent and also writer, editor, and journalist. Tammy Moss, who is our founder and chief encouragement officer and the founder of Hoarding Solution. And then last but not least, we have Deborah Beatty, who is our badass color mystic for that matter. Super excited to have all of them as my partners. And if you are interested in learning how you can become one of the partners to Joanne's Healing Within, just send me an email at healingwithin76@gmail.com and I'll send you all the details. With all that being said, let's dive in to the energy of this week. Whoa, how are you all feeling based on all of this energy? Now, if you are sensitive to the planetary energies, when the moon is shifting, considering the moon shifts every 2.5 days, so you can have days where you're feeling on top of the world, and then other days where you're very emotional, and then some days you're overthinking everything, and then other days you're centered, or maybe not. Who knows? So we have a lot going on right now with our planets. Let's start off with the one planet we're all very familiar with, which is Mercury. We are currently in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, as Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Capricorn energy. And for those of you who are not attuned to all of this information about the planets and what Mercury actually is responsible for, with the retrograde and everything from that and everything in between. Mercury is our planet of communication, technology, scheduling, planning, and anything dealing with electronics. So it's really important to make sure you back up everything during these retrogrades. Being that it will be in Capricorn energy, Capricorn is associated with the 10th house, which is about our soul's purpose, the work that we actually came here to do in this lifetime. It's also about reviewing our success, our achievements, our goals, the fame. Excuse me. And when that goes into retrograde, it's going to give us an opportunity to reflect back on all that energy. I'm just going to grab a sip of water. And in addition to Mercury's retrograde in Capricorn, Please keep in mind that we also have Venus in Capricorn as well. And in just about, let's see, today is the 18th, so we have the 19th, 20th, give and take just about 3 days from today, the sun will be moving into Capricorn energy as well, which then means we're going to have Mercury, Venus, the sun, and Pluto is still hanging out in Capricorn as well. So that's going to be 4 planets sitting in Capricorn energy. Now, what does that actually mean for each and every one of us? It means that we're going to have a lot of time to reflect on our soul's purpose, what we've accomplished in the last give and take year, or even for that matter, with the help of Jupiter spinning back into Pisces, but now coming back into Aries, has given us some time to reflect on the last 12 years of our lives. That's a lot of reflecting. So using this time to do just that. Now, of course, those of you who have Capricorn in your sun, moon, or rising, you guys are going to feel this energy a lot more so than those of us who don't have in our major planets, our major 3 planets for that matter. So my suggestion would be grab pen and paper each and every day, journal a little bit about how you are feeling with all of this energy. What do you need to reflect on regarding how you communicate? What it is you're communicating about? If you are an entrepreneur, this is a great time to reflect on your business ideas, your marketing strategies, and maybe it's even a great time to really review your value and what you're charging for your services. This could be a great opportunity to perhaps give yourself a raise during this time. Not necessarily during the retrograde period, but definitely once Mercury goes direct. It's a great time to reflect on that, take note of what services were working and keep them, and then take notice of what services are not working and maybe revise them a little bit, or maybe it's even time to get rid of them. You know, because that's what this is all about. When we think of that Mercury-Venus energy together, Venus is about your money, the relationship you have with your money, relationships you have with other people that is actually supporting your business. So pay attention to that. And then, of course, Pluto is there just to help us really let go of what's not serving. Now, I do want to bring our attention to another planet, which is not really a planet. It's an asteroid or a mini planet for that matter, but it carries a lot of weight and energy behind it, which is Chiron. Chiron will be going direct on December 23rd. Wow, that's like a day before Christmas Eve. Chiron has been in Aries energy. Chiron is known as the wounded healer. Gives us an opportunity to reflect back on whatever wounds that we've carried since childhood, even past life experience for that matter. And because it's an Aries energy, Aries is about self. Now, of course, depending on where Chiron is on your personal chart, will then help you have a better understanding to what the theme was while it was in retrograde. Because retrograde, as we know already, is all about reflecting backwards, going back and reviewing so we can clear that energy out. And that's what this is really all about. We always want to review back to clear out whatever baggage we are carrying. And think of it as suitcases for that matter. You know, think about how many suitcases you're holding on to, whether that suitcase might be titled frustration, anger, sadness, loneliness, not feeling good enough, whatever other title you want to title it. And then ask yourself, perhaps it's time to start putting down those suitcases and start carrying some lighter suitcases, such as maybe self-love, self-acceptance, unconditional love for that matter, and abundance. And this might be a really great year for that. I'll be sharing a lot more about the energy of 2023 as we come closer to it, although we're only 10 days away from it. And 2023 is going to be an amazing year for every one of us. And I'm going to leave you with that because I think that's powerful just to hold that energy too. What I like to do now with the energy that we do have, I like to grab my cards and then ask our cards with all this energy that is in Capricorn, with Mercury's retrograde, what do we need to know right now, right here? What chakra can we work on so we can be better aligned with what's coming in? And I always like to believe that as long as we align ourselves and help ourselves with this energy, we can never go wrong. So let's see what's in store for the energy we have going on right now. I'm loving it. The word is manifestation. You can manifest whatever it is you want to manifest during this time. After all, with Mercury being in going into retrograde, and Mercury is all about communication. So take a moment to reflect on what it is you want to communicate. And remember that whatever you are focused on is what's going to become your reality. So manifestation is your key word here. The chakra is the crown chakra. Understand that there are plenty of times we look to manifest things that don't manifest. And that could be because we may not serve your highest purpose. But pay attention to that too. And isn't it lovely that the number that's showing up right now is 19, which when you add it together, it's 10, right? Associated with the Capricorn energy, which we have a lot of it right now. Reminding yourself that that 1 is about a new beginning. That 0 is reminding you have choices and opportunities coming your way, as with all of these planets in Capricorn season. All that being said, again, remember to share, like, and comment on today's show. I would love to know what it is that's keeping you motivated to come watch week after week. And I'm going to be taking a quick commercial break. And when I get back, I have my two amazing guests / volunteers here who are going to be sharing about the episode from December 4th. So again, if you did not get a chance to watch the episode from December 4th, do that later. So at least you'll understand what's being shared today. I'll be right back.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have my two amazing beings with me, the guest and volunteer, but I'm going to introduce them in just a minute. I do want to review, just in case, for those of you who just are popping in, to do me a favor and share, like, and comment on today's show. Also, if you did not get a chance to catch the last episode, which was December 4th episode, you can go back and watch that. And of course, watch the beginning of this one on any of the major platforms, just to name a few of them: Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and of course, YouTube. But there's others as well. So this way here, you won't be so confused on what's going on today, even though I don't think it's going to be confusing because it's a Q&A day, questions and answers, because I'm kind of curious to see what unfolded based on the episode of December 4th's reading. But before we dive into that, just want to remind you about our card, because I always like to bring it back up. Such an appropriate card for today: manifestation. When we think about the energy, as I shared, we currently have 3 planets in Pluto and 1 more to join us by the end of this week. That's a lot. I'm not in Pluto, sorry, in Capricorn. Don't know where my mind was. In Capricorn energy.
No, it's in Capricorn, so that's okay.
Yes, true. And when we think about that 10, which is associated with Capricorn, this is really a perfect opportunity for every one of us to reflect back on the work that we're doing, Are we doing the work that we came here to do? And what is your feelings about success and fame? And remembering that whatever it is we are focused on, thinking about, talking about, listening to, speaking about, we are going to create that based on manifestation. So take some time to review what it is you're looking to actually bring into your experience. And with this energy that we have in Mercury's retrograde coming in, this is a perfect time to start reflecting and reviewing. And again, like I said, go back and watch later the beginning of this to get more information based on that energy of the card, the crown energy in itself. So with all that being said, super excited to have my guest here today. We have Deborah Beatty. Did I say that right or wrong?
Beatty.
Beatty. Sorry. She is our
But you got the Deborah. That's okay.
There you go. There you go. I've been practicing that one. Yes.
You get points.
Yes, yes. Thank you, as I should. She is our badass color mystic. And then we also have our volunteer here, which is Kitty Foss. She is our storyteller of astrology. And today's show is all about, as I said, the Q&A of the episode of 2 weeks ago, the colorist card reading that took place. So, Deborah, just talk a little bit about that. So this way here, the viewers who didn't catch the show from 2 weeks ago, they'll have a better understanding to what is actually going to go on today in regards to leading into the Q&A.
Okay. For those who are not familiar, I work with a process that I created called Coloricity that deals with 9 colors and their attributes. It's color rays, and it's been, it started being studied back in the 1800s by Alice Brown, and has been, physics and all of that, talking about frequencies of colors and things ever since. I have not found anybody who interprets colors the way that I do. I have created an oracle deck that I did a reading for Kitty last time. And it was very interesting. And I also did a natal chart for her. And so I do natal charts based on the colors that were active at the time of birth. So that's what I did for Kitty, sorry. And I can't wait to hear if anything popped for her this last week.
Yes, I mean, neither could I. I'm like super excited to hear what actually has happened for Kitty since that reading. So Kitty, are you ready to share your information, your insight of the actual reading you had? And before you answer that question, Deborah, are there any specific questions you have for Kitty before she starts sharing her insight?
Yeah, I have one. Did you happen to notice an increased awareness of the colors around you during this past week? Did any of the future card reading trigger anything different for you this week? I'd really like to know. And how did you feel?
To answer the first question, yes, I became much more aware of colors, especially shade color. Interestingly enough, I started a seasonal job, and so much is sorted in this particular place by color. And I found myself looking at certain hues. And if I summed up, orange became, because you said how important orange was, and looking at the future reading, that rose and the orange. Orange is, I know it is the sacral chakra. And I do know when I was ill, that was the chakra when I had COVID, I spent my time in. And I used the color orange, but I even wore a coral color because I have had an interesting relationship with orange. And I have actually thought a lot about it. I was just thinking about it when I was getting ready, how I'm a November birthday. So citrine both the traditional and the alternate are both citrine and both orange citrine. And I always liked gold, but I was never a big fan of orange. And what I found, especially in the last couple of weeks, is I really started embracing that I've liked orange all the way along. I'm looking at a card that I made for the orange, but I like the orange that is the rose and the coral level. So that was going to be a question I had for you versus the orange of a pumpkin and when I did a lot of reflecting. I saw it in my dreams. So I was reflecting about my relationship with orange. And in my dreams over the last week since we met, I had more and more people who've never been in my dreams, but in my life, appear in my dreams. And because I've actually used orange in my meditation. See the orange, and my dragon is orange, a beautiful. My favorite color, I would tell you, is yellow. But I love the yellowy oranges. So yeah, I really have become more aware, and I don't know how to explain this, but it has helped me separate in discernment. So sometimes, like when I want to take a step back, I've actually used coral color and the rose, and thought about if you would share with them what you hold for the future. That was such spot on, because it really reaffirmed a commitment that you didn't even know I was making, literally when we were sitting there having the reading done. So I committed to every day being reading astrology every day on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I do just a short reel, and there was something in the reading you gave me, especially about the future, about the one, especially about practice. I'm in a practice stage that kind of exactly is where I am, is this practice to get a practice up and going. Does that make sense? So.
And if you, please forgive me, if you could refresh what the future card was. I know I should have watched the last week, but I didn't make a note of what the cards
I
were.
don't remember the actual, but what it was I was in a practice mode at the moment, and that the card itself was that I would succeed, but I was still in this putting it together across, and that's exactly where I am. Exactly.
Okay, so it had to be a harbinger then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's but I've shifted, first of all, my relationship with the color orange, but also just more aware of other people's colors too. That was an interesting one, what people put together. And like I said, in this little retail job I'm doing at the moment, has been fascinating, because I've really been studying the color. I sat there at the ribbon section and sorted it for about 40 minutes. Like, that one's, gold and anyway, so.
You better be careful, Kitty. They may actually want to keep you beyond season.
Yeah.
So I actually did a section of dog beds that way too. I was like, well, let's look at how, and I kept stepping back, but it was the color that stepped, not the shape, but and then there were times when I would pass something and I'd be like, oh no, those colors aren't together. So I had much more aware of color. It was fascinating reading.
Now, Deborah, question for you regarding what Kitty just shared in regards to her being, the word I keep hearing is her creativity is enhancing, because everything that she's doing. Now, when we talk about our chakra system, the sacral chakra is orange. So in reference to what she's actually intuitively picking up, would that be the same in reference that she is tapping into her sacral energy as well because of that orange?
Yeah, I think so, because she's drawn to the pink side of orange, the pinky oranges, the corals, that kind of thing. Remember that Rose is blending the physical with the spiritual, and orange is the awakening of awareness of what's out there. And it's about balance and being balanced and taking responsibility and being that person that brings balance. And it's yellow. It's interesting, Kitty, that you said that your favorite color is yellow, because yellow is creativity and vision and daydreaming and all of that. That's where all the creatives live. And orange is perched right between red and yellow, obviously.
Mhm.
And so, in addition to being drawn towards the bringing in the esoteric and the spiritual and the metaphysical into the physical realm, you aren't just bringing it in. You want balance. You want it to come in a way that's going to benefit all, as well as, it's a feeling with you. It's intuitive about finding that balance point.
I would say that that's really, as I've gotten older, I've come to understand that, but yeah, I love that, because I definitely am into the much more the corals and the so much so that when I was younger, I wouldn't call them orange, pink, but they really are much more in the orange family. So,
Love that. That's some of the insight you are sharing with us. Now, of course, we have to take a commercial break, but before we do that, Deborah, let our audience know how they can reach you.
My website is createdlife.com, and they can reach me there. They can reach me on Facebook. Just look for my name. I'm everywhere. And Instagram, most of the social medias, I'm there. They can reach out. They can PM me on Messenger, or they can, go as low tech as they want and call me on the phone. My number's on the commercial.
Excellent. And Kitty, if you can just share your website with our viewers, should they need to reach you?
You can reach me on Facebook at Intuition of the Soul. You can message me there, or message me under my name. I do have on Instagram. There is also a place on Facebook called Optimize Your Energy with the Moon and the Stars. And that's a course I teach about how you use your chart and the star and learning to read it for yourself. Not to be an astrologer necessarily, but how to read it and understand it for yourself, more in depth.
Awesome. So we're going to take that quick commercial break. Hang in there with us. Get your water, come back, and we're going to continue to find out what more unfolded for Kitty from her reading. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Joe Monkman, and I am a personal development trainer. And that means that I help people step into their leadership roles, take their place as a visionary, really understand their own mastery in the world so that they can really find their place at the buffet of life. And if you want to know more, you can find me on my Facebook page at Joe Monkman and joemonkman@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm CJ. The Author's Porch is a community where you find good books and good people. We collaborate with services that deliver quality to authors and publish a magazine for authors by authors. Come by, let us feature you or review your book. Coffee is always on, and no matter what time you arrive or where you come from, the porch light is always on.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services. at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome. I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. I have my two amazing guests here. We have Deborah and we also have Kitty. And we are chatting about Kitty's experience from her card reading that she had 2 weeks ago on December 4th. If you did not get a chance to catch that reading, you can. You can go back and watch on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and of course here. But do that later. You don't want to jump off now. You want to stay and find out what else Kitty had experienced since that reading. Because from my experience with readings, we learn so much about ourselves after having a reading. And then I also believe, too, that the reader sort of plants some seeds into those who are getting the reading. So there's so much that comes from a reading. So again, I'm going to turn the mic over to Deborah, as Deborah may very much have other questions for Kitty. So Deborah, go for it.
Not really. You said that you've been having a lot of dream activity and people that weren't there before are. I'd be really interested to see if what you were told about, about the practice and about working towards that goal that's on the horizon really resonated or brought out anything doable, or, have you made some progress, that kind of thing?
Well, what Joanne said is really quite true. It brought out some awareness. Like I said, I was just starting to do this. And when you did, especially the future about this has been a practice to become this tool, this transformation tool. And like you said, with yellow, that is me. I very creatively, but I want everybody to be a part of it. It's not, I don't, for me, I don't want an art show. I just want it to become its own. I see swirling energies, and now I see them with color. Thank you. But the color's blue.
Yes, of course, it would be. Blue is the color of communication, of soothing the nerves, and it's clarity of message. And so that's probably why, and it's responsibility and dedication. And so that's probably why you're seeing that with the blue. It's telling you to talk it up, talk up what you're doing, get out there, be visible, bring your message out.
Well, that makes sense, because when we first met, and because intuitively I got that coral color for you. I'm like, why am I seeing coral? I already had started on new awareness. And interestingly enough, this week, I was doing a reading, and once in a while I'll get something from somebody in the past. But up until that point, and I told you in my dreams, I've been seeing more people from my life. And as you were talking, I'm thinking, and what I'm seeing is they're much more vivid and the background's much more blurred. They're like walking in, so that the focus really is. And most of them are, it's been very funny. They're either in a concession stand or they're behind a window, and there's some kind of exchange that has happened. And they're not people I usually would have my dream. They've been in my life, but not necessarily in my dreams. So I was doing a reading this week, and I got the color blue, and it was a floral. And at first I was kind of mistaken and thought, is this was more florally. And I said, did you have and I was asking about someone who wore a lot of perfume. And all of a sudden I said, no, it's baby powder. But I'm seeing blue. and I can really smell baby powder, very sweet. You know what I mean? How baby powder has that really, and it turned out that there was a big connection in her own life with a baby, but that was also came as a color. The smell came unbelievably, but the color came first. I heard the word blue, and then I turned and went, I'm smelling really sweet, sweet. And I went to flower, not candy. And then I thought to myself, no, it's not quite florally unless it's like night jasmine is very, very sweet. Like, oh, and then I realized, no, it's a baby powder smell. So that was very interesting.
And I think for a lot of us, baby powder is soothing because you get rocked right back to pre-verbal and sensations and all of that. And blue is a very, it soothes the nerves. And, how much more soothed could you be wrapped after your bath covered in baby powder? Because most of us are of an age that, they still used a lot of baby powder that smelled that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's probably indicative of self-soothing or something that you felt as soothing, which would trigger you to talk about babies and soothing and things like that.
Well, it turned out that there was a something with a son, a baby she had, and so it was like, oh, but that was that's something that's new. As I'm paying more attention to when a color comes to my head, but the smell was brand new. The only time I ever smell anything is if I smell toast in the middle of the night, my dad. So because in toast.
It's so interesting when Kitty mentioned baby powder. What came to me was Casper the Friendly Ghost because of the blue that she mentioned. That's the first thing that came to me was Casper the Friendly Ghost. And also childhood story from when I forget how old I was. I think I was just about 2, maybe. My sister decided that she needed to take the entire container of baby powder and pour it all over me. And of course, my mom in the other room, she was kind of wondering why we were so quiet, or should I say why my sister was so quiet. I was always quiet to begin with, but why my sister was so quiet. When she walked in the room, all my mother could say was, oh my God, all I could see is her blue eyes. My big blue eyes, because I was covered with baby powder. But that's what came to me when Kitty said, the white, the baby powder. I'm like, oh, okay, childhood memory showing up here.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're telling that story, my left ear is ringing, like high pitched, which is usually somebody's talking.
Yes.
Sorry, my left ear. I know a left from my right. Left ear. So
yeah, probably my mother's sitting there laughing because she was not laughing the day that happened and then my mother said to my sister, who did this? And my sister literally said, oh, Joanne did. She poured the baby powder on herself. My mother's like, really? She climbed out of the playpen and climbed up the stairs to get the baby powder. And my older sister shaking her head. Yeah, she sure did. And I'm looking at her like, I did? Really? I don't think at 2 years old I was quite walking yet to be climbing upstairs. But whatever.
Yep.
Yes. So Kitty, besides the orange and of course the baby powder color and the blue, were there any other colors that were like highlighted for you during the readings?
Honestly, I became very aware of palettes of colors. It was like, as I said, I was putting stock out. As a matter of fact, I went to a local store that is nationwide, and Sam Walton owned it at one time. And one of the things that showed us, I thought the colors that they, in this particular group, I can't say all of them, but this one I went to, were hideous. And I have a question for Deborah. Like, there are certain combinations of colors I just disdain. Like, I do not like orange and green together at all, in any shape or form.
Orange and green.
Yeah. And those tend to be Halloween colors. But at this store, everything was a mustardy yellow, and I like yellow, and brownie orange and all of these. It's like, these are hideous. This is remind me of a couple of them are baby diapers when your baby's stomach isn't as happy as it
Oh
could be.
no.
You can kind of figure that range
We
out,
get the
right?
picture.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah,
the
we
picture.
got it. We got it. We don't
You
need
got it,
full
you got it,
detail.
yeah.
But before we go further, we do need to take a commercial break. I think that's a really good time to take a commercial break at this point. So Deborah, let our audience know, our viewers know how they can reach you.
That's what came to mind. Sorry.
They can reach me through my website, which is createdlife.com, CREATED life.com.
Awesome.
Plenty of contact area information there.
Excellent. And Kitty, what's your Facebook link that people can reach you at?
Intuition of the Soul.
Say
Is
it
the
again
name.
because it was cut off. I couldn't hear
Oh.
that.
Intuition of the Soul is
Awesome.
the place you can message, or at my name. So
Excellent. Excellent. So with that as being on our minds right now, let's all take a commercial break. Get yourself some water. We'll sort of regroup. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for solutions and connections? If so, I can help. Hi, I'm Tammy Moses, and I help the peripheral people resolve hoarding issues in a holistic way. I would love to connect with you and learn more about how I can help in your unique situation. Please send me an email to thehoardingsolution@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kitty Foss.
And I'm Amy J.
And we're Intuition of the Soul. We are a Facebook and YouTube group that has created a sacred spiritual place to look at your spiritual practices.
And there's too much to tell you about what we do, but let me tell you, we have weekly activities, we have monthly activities, and you are not going to want to miss our spiritual practitioner series. So join us on Intuition of the Soul.
Aloha.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Colon. I have my two amazing guests, and if you literally are just tuning in, well, you just missed a whole lot of laughter that took place in the last segment, but you'll have to come back and check that out, and you can do so by watching it on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, and many other platforms for that matter. At this point, we are talking about the card reading that took place on December 4th, the Q&A that Kitty is sharing with us based on what has transpired since that reading, and what colors are showing up for her and how she's feeling and the different things that take place. As I always say, when anybody gets a reading, I truly believe that the reader plants a lot of seeds for the reader to manifest into their reality. And I don't think this card reading is any different. There's lots of seeds that were planted. So Deborah, I know you had a question to ask based on the most recent statement that was made in the last segment. Feel free to ask that question or statement.
Well, it wasn't really a question. What what occurred for me is, okay, let's take them in order. You were talking about not liking orange and green.
Mhm. Together, combinations, yes.
Right. Orange is they're kind of oxymorons for each other in one way. Yes, in nature they do grow together that way. When you grow pumpkins, you got the green top and all that kind of stuff. But orange is the awakening of intellect, of reason, of being aware that there's other than what's inside. Green is structure and process and holding things together. It's very limiting. It's the container for the chaos. It makes order out of chaos. And to put them together, the green influences the orange to bind it and keep it from being able to achieve what it's designed to achieve. The colors that you were referring to when you went to that store that you found bothersome, let's just put it that way.
Yes.
It's interesting because all of them had been muddied down. The mustard you said was not even a pretty color mustard. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know French's mustard. That's a gorgeous yellow. It's a nice golden yellow.
It was more like Gulden's mustard with some French's in it. It was really, it wasn't.
Yeah. And a lot of times what happens there is buyers for those big chains decide what the seasonal look of the chain, of the retail setup is going to be. And it may very well have been that particular person was feeling blocked or not able to fully express themselves because they were maybe worrying about what the people on the other end might see. If they had gone with the purer colors, I think they probably would have been better. But I think everybody kind of tends to do their own thing. Mm-hmm. And so consequently, if they were feeling blocked when they picked those colors, they would be attracted to the more moderated, tamped down versions of the yellows and the oranges and the greens and the reds and that sort of thing. And green and red are directly across the color wheel from each other. They block and moderate each other anyway. So I always find that very interesting that, they're that way. But it just seemed like in a retail setting that they were trying to hit the middle ground and not excite or depress. Mm-hmm. It's in that middle where they deliberately tamped it down so that it wouldn't offend people that didn't like bright colors. And because there are a lot of people who are uncomfortable with really bright colors, they want the muddy tones, they want the earthier tones.
Definitely. I had a friend's son when he started high school. He said, "Mom, I want you to get me dark green, brown, and beige t-shirts so I can not stand out. I can just blend
in and disappear." Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, for me, I want bright colors. I want bright red. Like, I don't know if you can see my nails, but they're nice and bright red.
I got orange.
Yes, bright colors so I can stand out, because I want people to, hear me, see me, feel my energy, so yes, I love that.
Interesting that you were a quiet child, you said.
Yeah, I know.
You were always quiet as a child.
Yes, I was. If my mom was here right now, she would contest to that. And even my dad would contest. I was very quiet. I was shy. I know. But I'm making up for it now.
Good girl.
For being as quiet and shy as I was when I was younger. Yes. So Kitty, in regards to the reading that you had, is there any final words that you would like the audience to know about the reading that you had and what might be able to inspire them to want to get a reading?
I found it fascinating because first of all, it's a different measurement, and I'm orange. I want to learn. I want things to expand. I want And I liked especially the natal piece of it was really interesting to me, but I liked the past, present, and future reading. I found that to be stunningly aligned. And I think that that's when I start looking at, when I start thinking about colors, I start thinking about past, how I had looked at stuff. And because we're building and I'm looking at, we just did a cabin, and I still have to do what I was attracted to then versus when years ago we built another house. And so different stages of life. And I realized there's different colors for different stages of life. Definitely. And I even found myself thinking about, okay, Deborah, this is wild. The fact that we used to like bright brass, and then everything had to be silver, and then it had to be pounded silver. And now we're going back to brass again, but not the bright stuff. So even in metals, there's different things of attraction. And so it's very interesting to me.
I love that. I love that.
And before we go, Kitty, do you have any last questions for me?
A future color. How do you like, I use orange now. That's kind of who I am, but like a guide color, that would be something that I would find interesting.
Well, I would say trust your rose.
Okay.
Excellent. I love that. I love that.
Your coral is going to lead you to rose. I'm pretty sure it feels that way.
Yeah, I think so too. And rose, would you tell people again what rose is? Because I think that was very
Rose
cool.
is the marrying of spiritual with physical. It's bringing in spiritual awareness. It's it's a higher octave of red, so it is softening that red primal I am, brute force, here I am kind of energy. It's softer, it's more sensitive, empathic, just it's a really soft energy.
Love that. Love that. And
I do too. Absolutely.
Yes. And what a perfect way to like end this segment. So Deborah, let our audience know how they can reach you from your website.
My website is createdlife.com. Company name is Created Life Strategies. So there's that. And also I wanted to let people know that I will be putting out a color meditation with a burning bowl ceremony. It's a guided meditation using color as a solstice present. And if you want that, get in touch and I'll definitely get it to you.
Awesome. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And Kitty, your Facebook information?
Intuition of the Soul. And I wanted to let people know we're going to have a solstice sun magic, yoga, and astrology Zoom on Intuition of the Soul this Wednesday at 4:34. So we'll be right through the solstice. So, and it's free. Just Facebook group is free. It's free with a Zoom link. So
excellent. All right, ladies, thank you so much. We are going to be taking a commercial break. I will be back with the final words of today's show. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. And we'll be right back.
My pleasure.
I'll be right back.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
that stress and unprocessed emotions can store in your body, creating more muscle tension and pain, causing illness and disease to flare up. With the help of Chakra Balance Reiki healing, you can begin to feel better within one session. Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Colon, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. And I would like to help you release issues from your tissues as you release emotional weight and begin to feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. For more information, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. Hello, hello, and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just tuning in, I'm your host, Joanne Angel Barry Colon. And, well, you're tuning in the last second of the show. You're definitely going to have to come back and watch today's show, as it was part 3 of the color series reading that today was all about, the Q&A. There's always Q&A after a reading, and our volunteer got to share a lot of insight to what she learned from her reading, all the seeds that were planted. So feel free to go back and watch, and you could do so right here on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, and many other platforms for that matter. Anyway, want to remind you that today is the last episode for 2022. Oh my God, I cannot believe it's the last episode of 2022. I will be back here on January 8th, 2023. And it's a mystery guest for right now because I'm not quite sure who our guest is, but there will be a guest. And if not, there'll be me. I'm always a guest as well, right? So feel free to come and join us then. But meanwhile, enjoy your holiday. Oh, and happy Hanukkah for those who are celebrating. I do believe it starts this evening. There are promos because all of our partners do have amazing things going on that love to share with you. And to start off with those promos, we have Find Your Place with Nick Rafter, because I'm sure there's plenty of you who are looking for your new home or an apartment. The Author's Porch magazine and podcast, their newest 2 issues are coming out January 1st, so stay tuned for that. Then we have Intuitions of the Soul. As Kitty mentioned today, they have some amazing things going on, so go check them out. Spirit Messages and Energy Insight. They have a upcoming schedule, so you can check out when their next session will be taking place. And then last but not least, we have Miracles and Mystical Medicine Psychic Club by yours truly. It starts the second Wednesday in January. So you definitely want to come join us at that point. Like I said, this is the last episode of 2020. Last episode, last season of 2022. Super excited. I hope you all enjoy your holiday season. I hope you've enjoyed every episode of 2022. And I do look forward to bringing you some amazing, amazing episodes in 2023. But for now, enjoy this time. Enjoy your holidays. Be safe, be merry, be blitz, and may all your dreams manifest tenfold. Bye-bye for now.